Welcome to Beaded Doilies by Shell. In this video I will be creating another one of my faceted bead art letter squares with the diamond weave. For more detailed information on the diamond weave, please see my G video. Also, you can visit the links of the creator and the lady who she published her book with. They also have a Facebook page. Now, when using the diamond weave with one of my patterns, it is a 1 needle stitch, so I have added the tape to keep my beads from falling off my string. And then you will begin at the top and you'll add the first 2 rows of beads in this order. I'm going to start with 4 background colors. Let them drop down to my tape, and then I get the first 2 I added, go through them in the same direction I went through the first time. And there we have the first 4 beads. Then we go to the next 4. So we need 3 background colors. And a design color. Again, find the first 2 beads you added, go through them in the same direction as the first threading, and you have your second set of beads. Then we'll repeat. We need 2 background colors, design, and a background. Go through the first 2 beads again. And now we've come to the last set of beads. We need 4 background color. Now this time, with the fishing line, I find it's best to go through all 4 beads, again in the same direction as you threaded through them the first time. Then you want to go through the first 2 again. So first you go through all 4, then you go through the first 2. I get my string. There we go. Just the first 2. Alright. And there we have our first row. Tighten it up a little bit. There's our first row. Now we want to begin the next row, so we're going to go through this side bead so that our string is coming down towards our next row. And now we're going to add our row in this order. So we need 4 background color. And we come back to the bottom of our previous row. We see where our string is coming out, and we go through the next 2 beads on the bottom of our previous row. Now I find that the beads you're adding will twist a little. Don't worry about that, just leave them. You'll fix that when we finish the row. Now we add the next set of beads. So we need 3 design color. Followed by a background color. Then again we come to the bottom of our previous row. We see where our string is coming out, and we go through the next 2 beads. Alright, we need a background color and 3 design colors. And we find the bottom of our previous row, go through the next 2 beads. I've noticed here that the first set that I've added has thrown off the bottom of the previous, but I do not believe that'll be a problem. Once we go back through, it should fix that. And we add 4 more background color. Now we've come to the last set of beads for this row. So we're going to do them slightly differently. We'll let them come down. Then we're going to find the first bead of the 4 we just added. Go through it in the same direction you threaded through the first time. That up. Now you want to come to the 4 beads previous to it and untwist them. And you want to go through the top bead going towards your previous row, and then the next one you want to go away from your previous row. Then you find the next and untwist them. Then you go towards your previous row. And then away from your previous row. And then you find the last set. And you do the same thing. You go towards the previous row. And then away. And there you have your first 2 rows. Now you're going to want to go through this side bead here so that your string is coming down towards where your next row will be. And then you add your beads. we're going to add 4 background color. And you see where your string is? You go through the next 2 beads on your previous row. Now we'll do two design colors and 2 background. And again, you go through the next 2 beads on your previous row. Now we need 2 background, 2 design color, and the next 2 beads on your previous row. Now we have come to the last 4 beads, so we'll add them in the same order. We have 4 background colors. Then we thread through the first bead again, making sure to go in the same direction as the first threading. And then we go to our previous set of beads and untwist it. And we go through the first top bead towards our previous row and the second top bead away from our previous row. Then we go to our next set of beads, untwist it, go towards our previous row, and then away. And then our last set of beads, same thing. I'm going to go towards our previous row. You want to make sure you're going into the top 2 beads of the 4 you added for this row and away. And there we have our 3rd row of beads. Now again, we'll go through that bottom side bead so that we're facing down toward our next row will be added. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, we want 4 background color. I'm losing them all. Then we find the next 2 beads on the bottom of our previous row, thread through them. Now we need design color and 3 background color. Go through the next 2 beads on the bottom of your previous row. Now we add 3 background colors. And a design color. And we go through the next 2 beads on the bottom of our previous row. And now we add the last 4 beads. That'll be 4 background colors. And we find the first one, go through it in the same direction you went through the first time. Then we twist the previous 4 beads, or untwist the previous 4 beads. We go through the first top one towards the previous row. And the second one away from the previous row. And we untwist the next set. We go towards the previous and then away. And we do the last one. Towards. And then away. And then we want to close up our open areas. For example, here it's all got string going from one bead to the next, but along these 2 sides it does not, so we close it up by just threading along the bottom of our pattern or our piece. And then we can go along the side as well. And when you're done, both your strings will be together and you will be able to tie a knot and hide it inside the first bead. Slip off the tape, then I do a single knot followed by a double overhand knot, and then slip it inside that first bead. Once your knot is inside the bead, then you can pull tight. And then I like to thread away from where the knot is for a few beads. This way the string is not right butted up next to the knot and the knot doesn't work its way loose. And once you've gone away from where your knot is a couple of times, then you can just trim off the excess. There you have your letter square made with the diamond weave. I hope you enjoyed.